In February 2025, we did hear from a U.S. federal appeals court which essentially blocked the SAVE plan. What happened in the federal appeals court with this block is essentially it said the administration that created the SAVE plan did not have the authority to do so and does not have the authority to offer mass forgiveness. As we know, in the Biden administration, there was a large push for a mass or broad student loan forgiveness to help deal with the student loan debt crisis. Now, there's a lot of reasons why the student loan debt crisis happened. However, they essentially said that this particular plan is not legal and cannot be authorized and move forward. We did expect the plan to be discontinued under this current administration, and that happened. One thing that was a bit of a surprise in the ruling was the ability to offer forgiveness from the base plan, and that was the income contingent repayment plan. Many of you may be aware of the income contingent repayment plan. When you apply to the income driven plans, you might have seen it there as an option. Now, the income contingent repayment plan is one of the oldest income driven repayment plans that exists. It was created in 1994 under the Bill Clinton administration. While the Higher Education Act authorized an income contingent repayment plan option under that law, the details of how the income contingent repayment plan works were actually created through regulation. If you've been catching up with some of our blogs and other videos, when it comes to regulations and policies, things that were created to help drive the intent of the law, they can be modified and changed without an act of Congress. This SAVE plan ruling, what it did is it no longer is allowing forgiveness because it doesn't believe the interpretation of the law and how it's written allows for forgiveness at the end of the repayment period. With the income contingent repayment plan, that was 25 years. Now, other plans were created based off the framework of that income contingent repayment plan. So not only is income contingent repayment affected, the SAVE plan has been affected, but also the pay-as-you-earn plan or that pay plan. And right now, if you were to reach either your 20 or 25 years of payments, the U.S. Department of Education would not be offering you forgiveness after the ruling. The only guidance we've received up until this point is that you would be placed in interest-free forbearance if you weren't already in one. However, it's unclear what's going to happen with borrowers who are in this situation. So there could be a lot of frustration and a lot of confusion with borrowers who are stuck in this scenario because it's essentially the fallout of the SAVE plan ruling. And it affects more plans than just that SAVE plan. And it's changed the course of action and strategy when it comes to repayment. Now, when it comes to the income-based repayment plan, the IBR plan, this does not affect the IBR plan at all. The IBR plan is written into law, and they have not made any decisions on the interpretation of that law or how that plan has been played out. So if you're in the income-based repayment plan, this does not affect you. But if you are in an ICR plan or a pay-as-you-earn plan, there will be some effects from this overall judgment. The U.S. Department of Education has pulled down their income-driven repayment plan applications and their consolidation application on studentaid.gov. We have not necessarily received any guidance of when we expect them to be back up. We do know it has to do with this ruling, but we are not sure about how this will play out in the future or the different options for borrowers at this time. In addition, we have also learned that the paper applications are not available at this time. Right now, borrowers cannot change income-driven repayment plans, and they cannot choose to enroll in an income-driven repayment plan at this time. Other plans like standard, extended, graduated, those are options, but right now we do not know when the applications will be made available. 8 million borrowers were affected by the SAVE plan legal challenges. Additional 2 million borrowers will be impacted by the ICR and pay-as-you-earn forgiveness block at this time. So we are currently waiting to determine how the U.S. Department of Education will handle this and how it will go on moving forward. At this point in time, the nominated secretary has been confirmed, Linda McMahon. We're waiting for guidance from her to work with the administration to determine how to move forward from this block for millions of borrowers. It's our understanding from correspondence from the U.S. Department of Education that anyone who was in that zero interest save forbearance will continue to be in that forbearance until at least September 2025. And at that point, those borrowers would be transitioned back to repayment, but we don't know what that looks like yet. We don't know the requirements of these borrowers or how these borrowers can switch into an eligible plan or what plans they'll have to choose from. Once we get more information, we'll be sure to provide you with those details. Make sure you follow along on all our social channels and that you're keeping up to date with edvisors.com and our blog. And if you have a specific question, go ahead and ask a question on Ask the Edvisor, which you can find right on our homepage.